welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as 2Liz4U, TOOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry, and I have posted periodically as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram.
Yep.
If you're attached to me in my real name on Instagram, I'll never see it because I don't open that account. Sorry. We went through a tutorial one weekend of how to switch between accounts, and then I got stuck, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen anymore.
No.
So did you finish anything this week?
I don't think so.
I did.
You did? Let me see.
I finished something. So, I finished a cross stitch.
Oh, very
Stand
nice.
in the Gap from Gigi.
Very nice.
So this says Stand in the Gap by Gaye Glasspie, which is Gigi made it. And so I finished this, which is attached to my Be Bold one from Junebug and Darlin. And so now I will cut them apart and I will frame them. And I will sew up the edges and then finish it. But yeah. So then I can and then I can start the next project.
Have you showed it to her?
To Gigi? No, I'm going to wait till I frame it and put it up. And then I'll take a photo of it in the
frame. In the placement.
Well, I was going to, yeah, because it's going to go on my wall. It's going to be right next to my Cthulhu.
Right.
It has a spot already.
Very good.
Yes. So I did finish that. And then the Be Bold is going to end up in my bedroom. So
it's nice and restful.
Yeah. I like the colors of it.
I didn't finish anything. I thought about it. I could have finished one of my sweaters. But then I would have only had one thing to talk about.
Okay.
So I decided instead to go back to my original idea of doing one thing a day.
Oh, okay.
Or reaching a major milestone and then letting it go and moving on. So that's what I did.
Good.
Yes. So, the one that I could have finished but didn't is this one.
Yes.
Which is one of the cotton ones. It's the Kohana.
Which has a lot of yarn left.
Well...
Or is it straight for quite a while?
It's straight for a long time.
Oh, okay. Because you told me that all you had to do, all that was left to do was knitting. And I was like, oh, so maybe she's like down to here. No.
No.
Okay.
I joined it and I've done the sleeves.
It looks really good.
I'm very pleased. So I'm doing a slight A-line. You can do a major A-line straight. You can do straight, modified A-line, or huge A-line. I'm doing the modified A-line. And I may do that for, I have to do some math until I can get down to where it would replicate the stitches. Modified is 12, straight is 8. So I have to do down to a 12 where it's another multiple of 8.
Okay.
And then I can just go straight. Because I don't want it to be the flippy out thing.
Right.
So, but we needed bigger hips than the waist. So,
well, yes.
Yes. So we are doing modified A-line. You can see that the sleeves are done, and I almost took off with it and just went. But I decided that I'll see what happens this week. And working on it for an entire day, I might be able to get a lot of things done. I mean, we're talking about 8 hours of getting this done. And I have mentioned that I'd like to get this one and the other one and maybe even the dress done by Maine. So we'll see. I know once we get to Maine, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time because we're going hiking. And when we get back, I will be trying to stay awake for dinner and then falling asleep. I know what's going to happen. So, but I did get the sleeves on. I mentioned that my plan was to get the sleeves on. Got the sleeves on and got a rower. I got down to the lace panels.
You did? On
the sides. So now it's plain in the front. And there are lace panels on the side, and that's where you get the A-lineness. Yes. So, I didn't show you the lace panels.
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's only started.
Yeah, you can't really see it.
There's a little bit. So, got to the point where I did an inch, and the lace panels. So
nice.
That was done. Yes. What do you want to report on?
So, I was going to have a whole nother color section done.
But
I misread the pattern.
Oh.
So.
You misread the pattern?
Yes.
I thought that only happened to me.
No. So you would think that this would be symmetrical between this new color and this color, right? That this would be like a center point. It's not.
No.
I'm going to give you a clue. There's a corner here.
Yes.
Guess who missed that corner the first time she knit this panel? So I was almost done with this section yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
So now I have frogged bits, which is fine.
Because it's a rectangle.
Because it will be a rectangle. Yes, but I thought that it started the next one.
Got it.
But then I looked at the schematic, and it does say in section 3 that you start your corner.
Mm-hmm.
So from this point where I have used the tail of the other section to mark a row, from that line I need 10 garter ridges above it, and then
You're
will
almost there.
be there. Yeah, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Yep, and then I will be on to section 4. But I was moving and grooving, and then I was like, wait, isn't there something I have to do with the last row? No. Halfway through. Listen, read the pattern.
It's so hard.
It is.
It's so hard.
So,
And
yeah.
half the time I'll read the pattern, and then I will notice something the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where were you yesterday when I was reading it and underlining and all of this?
Because I first, of course, I read it, and I was like, oh, okay, so I just have to rip back one row. Not a huge deal. Then I read it again, and I was like, oh, you say row number this, not ridge number this.
There's a difference. Although they both start with R.
They do.
So that's...
But it was just one of those moments where I was like, I can't. Cool. Reading comprehension. Usually quite good at it. Not in this case.
Well, it's been hot, so that's been making it more difficult.
Yeah, I've had a migraine since last week, so...
I did nothing on my IXL.
Your IXL?
Because I had the heat, and I had it every day since a week from Thursday. So there's too much thinking going on with this to deal with that. But I did work on this, which is what? I'll let you know in a minute. Cell Gris? Yes. I'm going to say yes. Yes, this is Cell Gris. And I got it up to the armhole separation.
Oh.
So I decided that was a major milestone.
It is.
This is 15 inches. And I have done the bind-offs for the sleeves.
Mm.
So another one that I might have been able to finish had I let myself go.
Yes, well.
But so this one is so soft.
Well, yeah.
So I'll see where I get to on this in a day. I may decide not to work on some of my wool things, just to get one of these two cotton ones done. But it is just scrumptious, and I like this pattern so far a lot better than I like the pattern it was in. I chose this pattern because it suited me personally rather than fitting the requirements of a knitting class.
Right, yes.
And that was really the only problem I had with the Harry Potter Knitting and Crocheting Club, is that trying to fit what I wanted to do into their requirements. So instead I get to talk to you all. Anyway, so made some progress here. Great stuff. I hope the weather in your part of the world, it has clicked over, because today we had it in the middle 70s, which was really nice.
It was 80s.
75.
Yeah, now I have 75. It said 85 earlier.
Really?
About when I got home, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got over here. So what I have also been working on is the body of my Mystro. I hit, what did I say, 12 inches earlier today? I hit 12 inches, so I think I go for another 2, and then I will put it on 2 cords and try it on. And see, I have, let us assess the yarn situation. I have that much yarn left.
You can go for a little while.
I can go for a little while. I haven't decided how long I want to make it, but it'll all depend on how it lays.
It's definitely a good length for a sweater.
Yeah. And it'll definitely depend on how it lays on my shoulders, I think. But yeah, that has been going along pretty swimmingly.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm hopeful to get this done pretty soon. So then I can pick up some other things, because I realize I have a lot. I haven't been finishing a lot of the sweaters I've been starting.
Yes.
So.
That's something to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. But I did start something else this week.
Well, I have other things over here.
Then go.
All right. So this is halfway done.
Oh, you finished the back.
I did finish the back.
Oh.
So the sleeves are 7 inches tall. Not really worried about how long they are. We'll worry about that come blocking. And yes, it seems awfully long, but you see, I'm not that skinny. You can see I'm not that skinny. So this is going to go this way. And I'm pretty pleased. So it's got a lot of stretch in it. And it's going to be lovely. Absolutely lovely. So, and I have cast on the front. The front is done exactly like the back. So that makes it relatively easy. So I have cast it on. I have actually done the 4 garter rows.
Oh.
And I have started the pattern.
Okay.
So I have done that much. So I really made a stab at the second one. No second sock syndrome here.
No second sock syndrome for second side syndrome?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have been working on the second set of books for the Tamora Pierce. I finished the outlining of this part of the bookcase. I think something down here gets filled in this week with the release, but I am starting these books. I'm hoping to get a little bit further on this. I did want to finish... I wanted to finish something this week. So I think I finished that.
That's
and
good. I think finished is always good.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, because I am enjoying the cross-stitching again. I think because it's hot, so it's the fact that you don't have all of that yarn in your lap is helping. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to designate an evening
for
cross-stitch, and if it's this one, or if I end up then designating more than that, I'll also pick up the other project that I have open. But I really want to start more consciously attacking my cross-stitch whips.
Well, if I didn't have these 3 cotton projects, I would agree with you.
Yes.
That I would delve into my cross-stitch, because I really like it. Friends of ours came by on Friday from just south of Baltimore, and I showed it to them, and they went nuts over it.
Oh my word.
My goodness, and they liked the back. They said, oh my gosh, it looks like an impressionist painting on the back.
Of course, yes.
I said, well, thank you very much. And of course, then we went into the mathematics of the whole thing, and we talked about how one grids the pattern. So one of them is a dentist, and so it got very mathematical. But I've got 3 cotton things that I could use now, or I could use while we're on vacation, all that kind of stuff. So I'm consciously putting my cross-stitch aside to work on the 3 pieces of clothing that I could work on. And I didn't even come upstairs to print off the pattern for Mom's blanket yet. Because I want to get these cotton things done. It's in my mind constantly, because I can finish a square a week. I can finish almost a square a day. So holding off on that's not a problem. By the way, I wanted to mention a new show I found on YouTube.
Yes.
The Landscape Painter of the Year. It's
the Landscape Artist of the Year.
Landscape Artist of the Year. I found all of 2015, and I found episodes 1 through 5 of season 2, which is 2016. I found snippets of Best Portrait Artist of the Year, but I haven't looked at any of them. It is a British competition, but typically British in that it's hardly a competition at all. And the variety of styles that they have the artists paint in, it's mind-boggling. And I like most of the final efforts for different reasons. I would be very happy. I was thinking I'd be very happy to have a museum where I could display all of these things, because it goes from watercolor to acrylics to oils to printmaking to scraping things off. And, mixed media. You haven't seen the mixed media
I have not seen the mixed media one.
Where there's fabric and paint. Well, paint, then fabric, then paint. It's just, I find it amazing. So, Landscape Artist of the Year, there are at least 8 episodes, and then maybe a finale for the first season. And then, as I said, I found at least 5 for the second season. It's called Do It Yourself, or DIY Home and Garden channel, that, from what I can tell, was started in May of 2021. So it's a relatively new YouTube channel. And they have other things that they talk about, like there's one where it very much like Escape to the Country, only they're doing renovation work. So I saw the first one of those this morning. Somebody has bought a stone barn. Now, this is not as crazy as some of the ones I've seen.
Yes.
Because the fellow who bought it is an engineer.
Okay.
So it could be worse.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. Unfortunately, he is working to pay for the renovation. So his wife has done all the stud work. Once they had the ceiling floor put in, so she's done all the stud work on the second floor. God bless her. And she's measuring and cutting and doing a fabulous job. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's measuring and cutting. And she's screwing, and it's just...
It's a pattern.
Yes, exactly. And the kids are all in school, so the kids are from, I think, 4.5 up to 10, or 5 up to 10. So they're all in the local school. They've done really well acclimating to the new neighborhood. And so Mom has all of the school day in which to do the framing. Pretty neat. Right. So anyway, I've only seen one of those episodes. So I don't know anything more about that. But it's on the DIY House and Gardens or Home and Gardens network. Something else to watch. I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of Escape to the Countries now. Britain is under... has been in and out of severe lockdown. Obviously, there's the older versions, which I can watch one at least 3 times. But once it gets to the 4th time, I pretty much know what they're going to say. Yeah,
you tend to stop forgetting after the 4th time.
Yeah.
I
like the show.
What I found this weekend is something that actually has been recommended to me for probably the last year or so. It's Ted Lasso on Apple TV.
Oh, really?
Plus, it's hilarious.
Really?
It's lovely, and it's an American football coach goes to coach a British soccer team.
Oh, fun.
And it's glorious, and it's just glorious. I watched, I think, the first 8 episodes with my best friend and her husband yesterday.
Okay.
It was just glorious. I have a favorite character already.
All
I have
right.
a second favorite character. It is a lovely show. There are some poignant parts. As my friend's husband said, you need some pathos to get you through and have a 3-dimensional character, which, is sometimes hard to watch when it's such a funny, feel-good show.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was just something.
Broken Wood has finished their 7th season.
Okay.
So they posted all of those. We watched the last one last night. And that's on Acorn. On BritBox, there's McDonald and Dodds.
Oh, goodness.
And the chief inspector is a woman, a black woman, who's come down to Bath for this promotion so that she can eventually get posted back to London. And she is partnered with this very pedantic,
curmudgeon,
very fussy, not a curmudgeon, just very, it has to be done this way, and he knows all the dates and all of the facts, but it's
like Brian of on New Tricks.
Yes. And so not really skilled in social graces. And I had seen the first 2, which is 1 season, and was waiting. Finally, they have posted the next 2 episodes. We watched episode 3 last night. Your father couldn't remember having seen this at all, so now we have 3 more we can watch.
Which is always good.
Which is great. So, I mean, and that's on BritBox. So there are a few more cozy mysteries.
A few more.
We didn't watch John Wick last night, and for any of you who ever turned on John Wick, that was because the knives and swords were flashing, and there was a lot of fake Hollywood blood going all over the place, and this is not what my husband is up for. My brother, on the other hand, would have loved it. Yeah, well, you weren't here.
One of my, like, go-to, what do I want to watch when I don't feel well movies is Kill Bill. How did this... I don't understand.
John Wick, 1, 2, and 3. You and I would love it.
Yeah, I don't understand. Sometimes I don't understand how I'm related to my
Dad.
father.
Yeah, well, you know, he... Anyway, Broken Wood and McDonald and Dodds.
And if you're looking for another cozy mystery, he also liked New Tricks.
Yes, he loved New Tricks. It is on BritBox. I think it's on BritBox.
Yeah.
Some of it's on Acorn. And then it finishes up, I think, on Prime.
Okay. But yeah, just in case you are just checking in with us, we like cozy mysteries and knitting.
Yeah. So Prime, New Tricks goes, I think, for 12 seasons.
Okay.
So,
I know, we watched it for a while.
It changes main characters.
Yeah.
And then for the last season, all but one were gone and moved out. But, you know, cozy mysteries.
Yeah.
Let's see, I have something else.
I was going to say, what else have you worked on?
I worked on my 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Oh, yes.
Which is my Hohi Serenity by Hohi. Remember this? And I was trying to get a little bit further for you all. I have almost gotten it to where the fronts join.
Okay.
See if I can find this. There we go. You're looking at this and going, what are you talking about, woman? Okay. The sleeves are actually a drop shoulder. So apparently this neck is rather wide. What's going on in the back is there is a V shape in the back from the lace.
With some little lace detail. Very nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. So there's a V in the back with the lace, and there's a V neck in the front with my hair on it. And I have, it says I need to have 56 stitches in each front piece. I have like 51 or 52 from the last count. I will count again, obviously. But it takes 4 rows to get an increase. So I've got a little ways to go. Yeah. I figure at least 16 rows before I can put this together. Now, in this pattern, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get it down a ways. I'm going to get it to join in the front. Then I'm going to backtrack and do the sleeves.
I was going to say, definitely do about 2 inches below the, you know, connection points. You know, wherever you're like, because that's...
Yes, because it's a different kind of attachment. And then I want to make a big overblown collar for this because this kind of plain, wide V-neck really doesn't speak to me in wool for the winter. Taking that same shape and making a huge cowl neck speaks to me a lot.
Okay.
So...
have you found a pattern that you want to adapt to it, or are you just going to fly by the seat of your pants?
Yeah, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm going to pick up that edge.
Okay.
And I'm just going to knit straight up, and then it can fall down.
Okay.
I figure I can knit straight up for about 8 inches. We'll see what that looks like.
Okay.
And
well, then I would definitely suggest doing about 4 inches down so that you're at least, so when you put it on, it at least has enough body to it to really show you what it's going to do with that collar.
Well, I can do the sleeves before then.
Right.
And then I can go back to working on the body.
Yeah.
And then collar, because this is quite long.
Yes. I think it'll look really great.
I think with a cowl neck it'll be
well, adorable. And I think it'll be really great also, I think it'd look really great with the new trend of either bike shorts or the leggings. Like, I
love leggings.
I've been wearing my one pair of bike shorts so much. I mean, I wash them almost every time I come over because I won't wear them so much. They're so great. They're just, well, it's been so hot.
It's just great. So anyway, I have worked in this. I'll continue working on this tonight until I can get it to join. I know I'm shedding. You'd think with all the hair that I lose that I'd be bald, but obviously I'm not.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have worked on this.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't work on, as I said, is the counted cross stitch because, I just want to get some of these clothes done.
Yeah.
And
you have a little less that is just, I mean, I'm still working, so if I want to sit and cross stitch, knitting for me sometimes takes more energy than a cross stitch does, is what I'm trying
I understand.
to say.
And for me, when I have a headache, it's the eyes that go.
Yeah.
So I can't really concentrate on the little bitty patterns. Although I do love it. I mean, that's not the issue. But it's also the fact that I'm not supposed to be taking the aspirin as often as I had been taking it before. We had a discussion in the car on the way over to church, and Richard said, "So how much aspirin did you take?" I said, "Well, I took something like 4 to 6 a day, and that will keep my headache at bay. If it doesn't, then you go for the Imitrex. But now I'm not supposed to be doing that, so my body's trying to readjust. Obviously, I probably had some kickback headaches from all the aspirin I was taking, but I've been taking it for probably 50 years.
Yeah.
Since college.
I know.
Yeah. Well, you don't know. You haven't known me since college.
But you told me in college to make sure I didn't take more than 4 a day. Unless I had a severe migraine, and once I hit 4, to go for the prescription meds.
Right. So, anyway, I'm probably going through a whole sea change of getting my body used to not having all that aspirin. Oh, well.
It's probably better in the long run.
I think it's definitely better in the long run. The Olympics are gone. The Paralympics are starting up in a week.
Okay.
Ish. This is the 15th. They start on the 24th. So, a week and 2 days.
Okay.
Something like that. That's exciting. What else? And as I said, I found these new shows on YouTube. And then each one of these streaming services comes up with new shows each month.
Yes.
Usually they sound so exciting when they give me the notices in my email, and then I can't find them later. But
well, that's when you usually text me going, I saw this thing, do you know about it? And I'll go either yes or no, or then I'll go to Google and go, yes, you can see it on this platform. And she goes, oh, good, thank you.
Yes, and one that I wanted to watch has moved from BritBox over to Prime, at Prime Pay. So Vanderval has gone from the new Vanderval, Balk, B-A-L-K. It's set in Holland. It's actually set in Amsterdam. There's an older one that I started to watch.
Oh.
And it is free on YouTube. And it's somewhat like Midsummer Murders, only much more cosmopolitan. Very cosmopolitan. His wife is French. He is Dutch. And it's a little bit more blasé, a little bit of Sean Connery thrown in, And so it's interesting. It was shot in the 90s. So that's free on YouTube. But the newer one, which I had seen on BritBox, has now gone over to Amazon for $2.98 an episode.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be back.
Anyway, or it's on Prime. Well, I'm going to say, I also started something else. I started, well, you can't really, it shows up pretty well in the light. So this is the outside, like, kind of textural frame of a plague nurse cross stitch. I realize I don't have the image with me.
Plague nurse is the one that had the beak of a bird in the mask.
From olden times, quote unquote.
From the Black Death.
From the Black Plague, yes. Let's see if I can pull it up on my phone quickly. Is it this? It is this! Oh my goodness, I did so good. Now if it'll just load.
What's supposed to load?
Yes, and get bigger. There we go. So it will look like that. It was a free pattern last year, and I have a friend who was a nurse, and her ward had been, or her unit had been converted to a COVID unit last year, and I know she had a really hard time with it. But she has also a very dark sense of style, and it'll be perfect. I already ran it by her to make sure, because,
You're never quite sure when it's something that close to one's emotions.
I knew the style was going to be perfect, but I wasn't sure if she wanted something that would actually commemorate what we all went through. and her especially being a nurse. But she was like, oh, this is amazing. So I did start that, mostly because I thought her wedding was in a few months, and it's not. It's in a year and a few months.
Oh, okay.
I got the month right. I got the year wrong. It's all good. So my current intention is to hopefully finish it by that date to send it to her and be like,
For you.
So it's not it was going to be an arbitrary deadline anyways. This is just an arbitrary deadline now where I
Plus
can
a
be
year.
like, yeah.
Okay.
So, because I don't think I'll be invited, which is fine because we're not super, super close. But I also just think I want to get this done in 2021 since it is commemorating
Right.
last year. But we got a bunch of mail.
Yes.
I got ShelliCan stuff. You got some magazines and a book.
Yes.
So, ShelliCan had a sale.
Oh, dear.
So I got the Grateful Dead Yarn Bears, which was from Rhinebeck a few years ago, and it's a lovely size bag.
It's a great size bag.
So I got that, and then I got some washi tape, which has her little creatures doing crafts. I got a pin that has Prickles, the cross-stitching hedgehog.
Okay.
Which I might put a magnet on the back of to turn into a needle minder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a whole bunch of
Labels.
tags to put in clothing. So I have Woolwich, handmade Woolwich, handmade by Woolwitches, both in black and white to put in things. And then I have handmade with a skein of yarn and knitting needles for knit objects, and handmade with a spool of thread and and sewing needle for that. And then she threw in, I think, to everyone who ordered, a Waxed and Vaxxed Hot Shot Girl Summer sticker, which
Perfect.
I find very amusing. So yeah,
So far, Maine has held down their
numbers.
so we're still going.
Yeah. So
But you're just saying Florida's looking really grim. So I said, well, you told me we couldn't go down until November to look at boats. So
yes,
lots can happen between August and November.
yes, lots can.
Not getting into that.
Okay.
I got a book.
Oh my goodness.
Topsy Turvy. And look at this. You see, I believe that's the bunny. And there's the sheep.
Oh my word.
And they're inside-out toys. So, thinking of my grandniece and soon-to-be grandnephew, I was trying to think about what kind of presents to do. Here is a pigs in a blanket. Don't you just love it?
She saw that and screech squealed. It
Yes.
was hilarious.
You can have these little round guys that have a sad face on one side and a happy face on the other.
Aww.
I think they're cute. But here is the bunny. Look at that bunny. There's a bunny you can make, has stripes with its instructions, or you can make it all one color. And I was thinking making the sheep and the bunny for my nephew. And then I love this. This is an inside out with a snowman, and the inside is a Christmas tree. So I'm thinking of that for my niece, and then adding in, hold on, I'll find it. That's what I say, but I swear it's true. No, Scrolling Hedgehog, no. I'll find it. It's a dog and a doghouse. Oh, here it is. So there's the doghouse, and the dog fits inside. So it's not that you flip the doghouse, it's that the dog is inside. So I just think that is, well, maybe the dog may be inside. I haven't really looked at the instructions, just arrived today. But I think that she would absolutely love it. Yeah, actually, it looks like the house is inside the dog. So you have the doghouse, and then the dog comes out and takes over the doghouse. That is so cute. There is some knitted applique, and she has instructions on how to do that. This is Susan B. Anderson, Topsy Turvy Inside Out Knit Toys. So this is on my list to be doing for Christmas. So I've got my mother's blanket. I've got toys for the tots.
Look at you.
Yes, I've got a plan. So need to finish a couple of those cotton things, and then I can get started on knitting for Christmas. Do you want to start?
Sure. So we have 2 magazines in, and I'm very excited for the magazine you should be getting next week. Pom Pom.
Yes.
I think Pom Pom comes next week.
Pom Pom, I believe, is shipped.
I hope so, because there is a pattern in that I already have yarn planned for. So we have both Vogue and Interneave knits.
Interweave.
I know. This is why you know it's unedited. We have both Vogue and Interweave knits. So let's go through Interweave first.
Okay. It's their 25th anniversary, so it's their silver edition.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, Vogue had a silver edition not so long ago. I mean, maybe within the last 10 years. And everything was done in silver.
Oh.
Yes.
So, they do, I just want to see what that bag is. Oh, it's the knit tote. Interesting. The tote bag there reminded me that the fringe field bag is now available as a pattern, and I know that was a bit, I have it, we can make some. I know a lot of people really loved that bag, but now you can buy it as a pattern and make it for yourself out of fabric that you have in stash, maybe. There's some lovely articles about
greener fibers.
Yeah.
And maybe buying from local sheep.
So we start with a lace
silver
shawl. Hold on, I am parking my needle. There we go, so it doesn't stab me.
Nice lace.
Very nice lace.
Pretty.
Yes. And then there's this lace tunic vest.
It does not have very much shaping.
No,
which is why it didn't really grab me.
Speaking to me. Cute mitt with some sparkle detail and hat with some cable details. And then there's the Argentine Sweater, which I really like. It's very similar to a lot of other kind of slip stitch designs that we've seen recently. I don't know if this is slip stitch or not. It is slip stitch plaid pattern, which has been really popular recently, and this is a little less textured version. There's the Velocore, there's a whole bunch of others that are very similar, but I really like this also because it's long sleeve for one, and two, it has the little detail at the cuff as well, which I have not seen with this. Predominantly, I've seen this as a sleeveless or short sleeve feature. And we have a pair of socks.
Really pretty. Nice cable design. God bless you.
Thank you.
A hack-around sweater. Something
yes.
to put on when you're going outside.
And it's got some texture to it. I don't know if you can really see it. It's hard to see it in the photos, but those like darker bands are actually textured. Some like
V's.
Cable sections
Sideways V's.
The strands. So it's two different yarns held together. The strands are then separated when slipping stitches, which creates a subtle raised pattern.
Very subtle.
Yes.
Especially when it's in very close colors.
So then...
obviously you could make it more visual by having different hues that are perhaps opposite on the color wheel.
Then we have this yoked sweater.
Really pretty.
With a little detail at the...
Again, textural
neck.
detail.
Some more socks. Some cute little colorwork situation.
Oh, perfect for Christmas. Look at
and
this.
And then this with the centerline cable with the little collar detail.
And a keyhole neck in the back.
Yeah, keyhole back. A plaid scarf.
To practice those carried stitches.
Stranded
Habit was very excited about learning how to knit plaid. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yes, and you took a class with him about doing different ways of doing plaid.
Not that I remember what to do, but yes, I did take the class.
And then there's this textured sweater here.
Really pretty. Very
lovely. It has a different texture on this body than on the sleeves, and I really like that because they're not competing.
Right.
And I think the chevron-y texture might be a little much on the sleeves, so but I do like that it's not just plain sleeves. Then there's this wrap sweater with a cable detail at the edge.
Which I just wouldn't do for myself because I know that those kinds of, well, I don't make wraps in fabric nor in wool. They just don't work with me. I'd love for them to work for me, but they don't work for me.
Oh, see, I like them. They work. In fabric, they work for me. Then there's this cabled gloriousness.
It's wonderful.
Both Mom and I made unholy sounds when we flipped through this before we got on. And then there's an article about knitting plaid, the different ways to do it, and then you've got their patterns. Yeah.
Really, it's very nice. And then we come to Vogue. Vogue was coming up with a very inclusive pattern book.
I think it's a mix. It's
called mixed media. So they wanted mixed media for a mixed audience. And I think it is just a fabulous idea. So they start off talking about what their inspiration was, and it was the mixed media. Then they give you all of their various writers. We have another knitting bag and some artwork. The 4 is a Cafe Facet fan base, so, Cafe Facet does all kinds of things with color, and it's truly amazing. Down there was washi tape, boxes of colored pencils for you who design.
Or a bullet journal.
Or a bullet journal, absolutely. And then Katrinkles has sheep if you want to have bobbins for your color work. She's got sheep that will work as bobbins.
Oh, fun.
Yes.
So does someone else as well. You can look on India Untangled. They have someone on India Untangled also who does that.
They have a review of several books. Fair Isle Weekend is by Mary Jane Mucklestone, and I'm sure that would be a really good discussion of Fair Isle. She is very complete when she does her work. Absolutely fascinating. And then we've got Meg Swanson, who is coming in and talking about how to do effects after you finish knitting. And she talked about putting in a fake side seam after you finish the body of your sweater. She said just drop down those 2 stitches and then turn your sweater on the inside out and then use your crochet hook and hook them back up. And so now you've got 2 purl stitches on either side, which gives you some structure.
Yeah.
But you've been knitting in the round all the way. That Meg. She and her mother.
Very clever.
Very clever. And then she talked about purl when you can and purl when you can, which is actually putting some of your patterning down at the hem so your hem doesn't roll, which I also thought was a good idea. It's kind of like the Knit One Purl one, but actually she's talking about using it in a pattern. All right, then then there's a little article or essay on how knitting is a method of repose for this particular author. I don't know that it's repose for me, but it certainly keeps my hands busy. So when people say, how are you doing during this whole thing? And I went, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I think Zoom has been a big help. I think having our knitting groups has been a big help. But also the fact that I'm enjoying some of the silence after having over 100 students a semester call my name.
I think it's the retirement.
So here is an article looking at Wei Chen Chan, who comes up with colorwork patterns. She's in Iceland.
No.
She was in Iceland.
She's in Canada.
She's Nunavut. Nunavut? I thought that they talked about Iceland in here too. I could be wrong.
I think she uses Icelandic wool sometimes.
That could be. That may be part of it. The reading issue here. Anyways, beautiful color work. So
she's also known as the petite knitter. And
she also does some architectural work, so squares that actually use knitted stitches to create raised patterns. So, very talented woman. So I found it very interesting.
No, that's someone else. Mom, that's Way Wilkins.
Okay. Sorry. Way Wilkins. Fascinating.
Both multi-talented, but
yes,
2 different people.
Then there was an article about wearing wool.
By Clara!
Yes, by Clara Parks. And who has done this? Pendleton.
Mm-hmm.
Pendleton Woolen Mills family has come up with this A-line dress. And there was a bunch of women, a group of women, more than 1,000 women have participated in the company's 100-day challenge where they wear the dress, yes, you guessed it, for 100 days straight. An easy dress to wear with a fine jersey fabric and a simple silhouette that flatters a wide range of body types and pockets. And then she talks about her wool leggings, and then she also talks about a shirt that has some wool in it that has wonderful shaping for women.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually from Brooklyn. Brooklyn-based, made-to-order women's garment company, Naomi Nomi. And I do think that that's a lovely shirt.
Lovely.
That is a really nice shirt. Then there was an article about light and shadow, which I didn't quite understand the application to knitting with the examples that they gave, but maybe if I read it a third time. This was the Diversity Council's cowl that they designed, and I think it is a really nice design.
It is.
So, good job from the council.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they talk about gray and yellow for the win. Each a true classic in its own right, shades of gray and yellow partner up perfectly. And so there's several pages looking at grays and yellows. And then they take this and do color block in some of their patterns. So it really takes a theme and expands it. Here.
Gave a lot of options for the different
color
yarns
block
as well.
Scarf, shawl. Very big stitches, easy to finish. I bet you could finish it in a weekend. It's called Perpendicular. Show off your stripes. Then we have abstract composition, which can be worn by men or women.
And it is a unisex design.
I think it is really lovely, very eye-catching. And for those of you who have 1 or 2 skeins of the color like I have in this, it would be a perfect pattern for mashing it up with a gray.
Yeah.
And
or a pale something, or, matching it up with a contrast.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there is that. Then they show a male model with a cowl and
a garter scarf.
mitered squares.
Oh.
Quarter block.
Interesting.
So for those of you who want ideas about what to make for your men for the holidays or for colder temperatures, there are some ideas here. He looks very happy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then this is Itzel. They know this is the woman, Itzel. I've never knitted before, but this shoot made me excited to learn. This is an asymmetrical, I guess, shawl.
Yeah.
Again, with some color blocking details. Now, here they talk about light and shadow, and we would call it texture. So, here they have texture on the sleeves. But this one I really like for the poor boy effect, and this very interesting detail on the sleeve. So that is
the sleeve detail on that is just
stunning. It's called Slade, and it transforms with a fold, a squared off sleeve cap. Then we have Fen, which is a lace.
Oh, yes.
Very pretty, I think.
Yes.
I love lace, and I love cables.
Yes.
Then this.
Another.
I lost
so
my mind over.
It's
I
so
think
good.
This is wonderful. I would make
it's
it
so
longer.
Good. And what you're not really seeing is that detail right there.
And it's replicated in the back.
It's so good.
So in the back of the sweater.
It's right here. It's right here, y'all.
Yes. Gorgeous. Absolutely
So
gorgeous.
So simple, so effective.
For those
gorgeous.
of you who are looking for a
Cardigan. Oh, it's so pretty.
It really is gorgeous.
So pretty. And that has some, I was going to say it has a nice little...
honeycomb.
I was going to say lattice.
Okay. It says bird's eye tucks.
Ah.
It's Mela. Then angle and artfulness is called Paria.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought as a cardigan, it is stunning. And I have some llama. Llama? Yes, llama. From Long Island Yarn and Barn, or Barn and Yarn, something like that. That somehow when I make my white...
Long Island Yarn and Farm.
Whatever. When I make white or off-white cardigans, by the time I'm finished with them, they look bleh. I'm not happy with them at all. But this looks like it might have enough detail in it that it would be fascinating. I really think that could be good. Then we come to the cables. Hello, Mama.
Hello.
Look at that.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
And again, I love a good sleeve detail. I don't know why, but it's always the thing that gets me. The sleeve detail is just...
stunning. Then we go to, I think there's a page caught. Yes.
Yes.
This is, apparently could be made for men or women. It's just
It just
gorgeous.
means that I think that just means it doesn't have significantly defined waist shaping.
Called Tamora. It's unisex design. I would see if I could put some waist shaping in.
I bet you can do it.
The diamonds. I think you can. And then Moran is a two-sided scarf, which again I think would be a great holiday present for anybody. We have a pair of socks that are textured.
Always good. Socks are always tops.
Yes. And then this is a cardigan held together with a pin. Some of us, like me, find sweaters like that to be less than useful because they're always blowing open when I least need them. Or I stick myself with a pin. So you might want to see if, when you're doing it, if you want to modify it and put it in buttonholes or perhaps even a zipper.
I was going to say, that one would probably work better with a zipper.
I think it would be a very good design with a zipper. And then we came to one that I think has my name all over it.
It should be called the Carolyn.
Yes, instead it's called the Kent.
Close.
But you can see it's got all kinds.
It's got a beautiful little picot edge on the hem and on the cuffs. This texture, my people, that texture. And is it fingering weight? Because I think it's fingering weight.
I think it's fingering
weight. It's sport. It's La Biena Mi Sport.
I can do this.
Yeah, but that is you.
Yes. All over.
That is so you.
Next to it is Canon, which to me also looks like a unisex pattern.
I like it a lot. It's really pretty.
Really nice. Then there's more. They talk about intarsia, which is a reason why you would get the Katrinkle sheep in terms of inserting colors in the middle of your garment. And that is it.
Yeah.
But it is chock full.
Yeah.
Chock full. Time to get, if you haven't had your needles out all summer, time to get those needles out.
Yeah, definitely.
Really is. I don't know where the summer's gone. It is the middle of August.
Don't ask me. I officially have hit my 1 year at my new job. So I think I need to stop calling it the new job.
It's called the job.
The job, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to fade because it's warm.
Well, and you drove in from Philly.
I drove to and from Philly in 24 hours. Because, I'm young and that's what you do, and it's all good.
Well, the baby is 6 weeks old, so you don't want to overstay your welcome.
Yeah, and, we're all still getting used to being able to go visit people again, so you don't want to either overstay your own energy or the people you're visiting with energy levels.
Right. And if you haven't gotten vaccinated, please go get vaccinated.
Yes. And no matter your status, if you are indoors with a large group of others, please wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
because at least in the U.S., those under the age of 12 cannot be vaccinated yet.
Not yet.
And
so protect your kids.
Protect the little ones in your life.
Yes.
All right. We will talk to you all later
Next week. Bye-bye.